All right, good afternoon, guys. My name is Jay. This is Allison. We're with CrossFit Cygnus, and today we're going to be talking to you about Press 101. If you've watched our other videos on deadlift and on squat, we kind of take you through the basics and the variations of those two movements. Well, today we're going to talk about all things shoulder to overhead. Starting out with the strict press, just basically the simplest version of that, and then going into push press, push jerk, and then finally split jerk. Talking about all the different methods we can get that bar from the shoulder to overhead and what is going to be most efficient for you in your Metcons. All right, so the first things, we got to start with the basics. All right, the strict press, Allison's going to come into the barbell just like she normally would, getting into a front squat or anything like that, having a good grip on the outside, grip on the barbell outside her shoulder here. Nice, good front rack position. Taking a couple steps back to get away from the rig. All right, so things we're looking for on the strict press. Essentially just a shoulder and tricep only movement, where that's all she's using to move the barbell. We want that barbell path to be as close to perpendicular as we can, just straight up and down. All right, so she has to actually kind of pull her head back out of the way, move her chin out of the way, press the barbell straight up, and then lock out overhead. All right, when I'm looking at her from the side, what I'm really looking for is like the round part of this barbell straight up over her shoulder, over her hip, over her knee, over her ankle. It's just all one nice stacked line. One of the common faults we kind of see with this is if we're lacking in any sort of shoulder mobility here, we tend to kind of hyperextend, pushing, kind of leaning back to get the bar overhead like so. And then also the bar coming out front. And so what we want to do here, we want to make sure when we have that barbell overhead, we want to kind of tighten her stomach. I like to say, tuck in your belly button and tighten the glutes. Kind of squeeze those glutes, and that's going to pull your body into alignment, having that bar straight overhead. Every time the bar is overhead, it needs to be in this nice stacked position. And you notice Allison's been holding this guy up there for about a minute now, but she can do this all day because she's basically just using, mechanics of levers here to kind of keep everything in line. A nice straight stack position. She comes back down, she's gonna move that barbell back, or move her head out of the way, bring the barbell back down, and then just kind of repeat the movement. Notice she's moving her head away from the bar and not the bar around the head, which is another common fault we see with that one. Okay, so this is your strict press. From there, we would actually move into your push press. All right, push press, we're just simply going to get the legs involved. Just going to get a little bit more weight movement when we do this. All right, so in that push press, she's going to go into what we call a dip drive. Going to squat down about 2 to 3 inches, pushing those knees out, keeping those elbows nice and high. One of the key things we're looking for here is this upright torso. Notice she is not allowing her chest to kind of cave forward. Go ahead and demonstrate that, Allison. Those elbows dropping, because once we do that, the way, those arms or that chest, that torso's leaning is the way the bar is going to go. So we're going to keep that chest straight up and down, back against the wall, as I like to say, and then drive through those heels, making the bar weightless and pressing out overhead. Everything is essentially the same at this point, just nice lock position, just using those legs to kind of help her get a little bit more weight on the bar overhead. From there, we will move on into the push jerk. All right, so at some point, we're going to have so much weight on this barbell, we're simply, even with our leg drive, we're not going to be able to press it out. So go ahead and get me in a tall jerk position here. Just get that barbell about right here, Allison. All right, and then we're going to do a push jerk. So at this point, lower it down just a little bit. If she could not press that barbell out, she's essentially going to press herself down underneath it by moving her feet out and catching in that quarter squats. All right, so, and then stands up using those legs to kind of stand the barbell up. All right, so going full speed from the shoulder, from the front rack position, it would look like this. All right. A dip drive, and then catches in that quarter squat position, and then stands the leg up, stands the bars up with her legs. Notice the feet placement here. Her feet are starting shoulder width apart, but whenever she lands in that push jerk position, she has moved those shoulders out in basically her squat stance, and then moves those feet back together before bringing the barbell back down. Okay, and then the final iteration of the shoulder to overhead movement here, we want to talk about split jerk. All right, I'm going to go ahead and allow her to put the barbell back in, and we're going to demonstrate foot placement on the split jerk. All right, so essentially Allison's going to take a knee here, and her feet are going to become 90 and 90. All right, her knees are 90 degrees on both sides, and she kind of raises up from this point this is essentially the easiest way I can kind of describe where I want my feet placement to go. It's essentially the same as the push jerk, where she is unable to press the bar up overhead, but then, so instead of spreading her feet wide, she splits her feet in this direction right here, pushing herself down underneath the bar, and then locking out, and then moving the front foot forward or first, and then the back foot up, and then bringing the barbell down. So looking at it full speed, it kind of looks like this right here. She brings the barbell out, good front rack position. Again, 2 to 3 inch dip drive, and then lands in that good split jerk position. Key points I want to look at here. I want to get one more split jerk in, Allison. I want that front knee, that shin, to be as close to vertical as I can, and I want to bend that back knee where that femur is more pointed toward the ground as opposed to kind of straighten that leg out. All right, so that's kind of the couple key things we want to look for there. But this is going to be your most powerful shouldered overhead method. But it does take a lot of practice to kind of get used to and refine that technique, but that is your split jerk. Okay, so we just talked to you about 4 different methods of getting the barbell from your shoulder to overhead. And a lot of times in our strength sessions, we'll actually tell you which one you're going to use if we're going to work on push press or strict press or push jerks or whatever. But if you encounter this in a Metcon and you're trying to get that barbell from shoulder to overhead as quickly and as efficiently as possible, we really want to refine and work on our push jerk, because that's what's going to be most advantageous for us. Save those triceps and stuff like that. Okay, so thank you for joining us for your Press 101 session.